What up, this is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Netflix's new anime series, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you would like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this. First up, I would like to say thank you to Netflix for granting me the screeners to the entire 4 episodes of this new show. They've asked me to not spill spoilers, therefore this review is spoiler free. I repeat, there are no spoilers in this video review. Let me preface this by reminding you that I'm not a gamer. Thus, I've never played Resident Evil 2, nor have I ever played its recent remake. I understand that Leon and Claire are 2 of the most fan-favorite characters from the franchise. And I'm also aware that they have been miserably mishandled in the live-action adaptation by Paul W.S. Anderson. So what I'm getting at is I came into screening this show from a fresh perspective. From the perspective of someone who knows very little about the world of Resident Evil video games. I mean, I've watched the gameplay walkthrough on YouTube, but that's about it. Now, moving on. Having seen all these 4 episodes, what do I think of Resident Evil Infinite Darkness? Well, I loved every minute of it. Granted, it could have been more fast-paced and more action-packed, and it could have been much more relentless. Let's just say that the scare factor is not as frequent and consistent as I wanted it to be. That said, the CG animation is faithful to what you are familiar with. The characters stay true to what you like about them, and the story is dark and riveting. Too bad it's too short. 4 episodes are just not enough. But hey, that's beyond our control. Executive produced by Hiroyuki Kabayashi with story by Shago Muta and Elichiro Hasumi, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness is set in the year 2006, where 6 years prior, the helicopter belonging to the US Special Forces that were intervening in the Panam Stan Civil War fell from the sky. The US Army Mad Dogs refused orders from the command center and instead went to save survivors of the crash. However, in that place, Captain Jason and his unit saw the supposedly dead Special Forces moving in strange ways. In the present day, 4 agents, including Leon Kennedy, are invited to the White House to investigate a hacking incident only to find themselves attacked by a swarm of zombies. Meanwhile, Claire Redfield is also conducting her own investigation that leads to her discovering a terrifying experiment. Both Leon and Claire draw closer to an unimaginable truth that all began in Panam Stan, a truth that can shatter a potential impending peace. If the CG animation looks kinda rigid, it's because it's trying to emulate the designs from the original and the remake of Resident Evil 2. Stopped short of being interactive, animation studios TMS Entertainment and Quebico did an outstanding job of applying the style of the video game onto this adaptation. I think it's cool that the story doesn't pick up right at the beginning. Maybe if the show gets renewed, they can give you Claire and Leon's origins. But for this, for now, the 2006 timeline is set in a world where everybody already knows about T-Virus and Raccoon City and zombies. There's no shock or surprise anymore, especially not for Leon and Claire and others like them. So the mystery is a conspiracy thriller that's very intricate. It's not about why we have zombies running around, but it's more about the few power-hungry opportunists. There's a little bit of Black Hawk Down meets White House Down in it, which I grant you is a weird combo way of describing Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. Leon and Claire are such badass characters, aren't they? And even though, as I implied earlier, the show could have been more intense and it could have been more scary, but the scenes where they do have to keep their guard up are quite suspenseful and thrilling. On this show, Leon and Claire kinda go on separate paths. They do meet, but they're like old friends who haven't seen each other for a long time. When they're in the same room together, you can sense the history that those two share. And suddenly you have this deep desire wanting to know more about that chapter of their lives. There are so many more details that I cannot tell you here because I'm sworn to secrecy. But let me conclude by saying that I hope Resident Evil Infinite Darkness is not just a one-off. And I think this show gives us what the live action adaptation could not or failed to do. Resident Evil Infinite Darkness is compelling.